right. Hey, welcome everybody. Thanks for joining in with us. I'm Sean and I'm joined with Kevin and Rob, who are elders here in San Francisco. And we're also joined by Francis from Hong Kong. And we just wanted to throw some questions at him that would hopefully be of help to you guys listening in. Want to start with the first. Francis, a lot of conversation and thought around leadership in the church, especially in light of COVID and this pandemic. But first, I wanted to give some context for people. You decided at the beginning of We Are Church, this is years ago, before all this, to take on a structure that didn't have paid pastors, paid elders. Why is that? Why would you have even been doing that before all this? Can you share a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to give it a shot. I just thought, part of it was I was thinking, looking at my church budget from the past, looking at other churches and their church budgets and breaking it down and going, gosh, it costs like $1,500 a person per year to go to church. And I thought, that seems like a lot of money. A lot of finances allocated towards that, and thinking, why is it free in so many countries where there's no cost? So some of it wasn't like total biblical conviction other than the stewardship of our finances. It's just kind of like if someone said, hey, I can give you this Ferrari for free, you wouldn't ask the question, hey, why did you take that? And why didn't you just pay for one? Just go, well, it's free. And so I just think, gosh, why does it cost so much? Like it didn't make sense in my mind. Why does it cost so much to worship God in America? It seems like other people can worship for free and God likes it just as much. So why not do it for free? That was one of the driving forces, was just the cheap side of me, which you would know nothing about, Sean, just trying to find a good deal. But there was also some where I realized some of my decisions are too influenced by finances. And it's kind of like you were there when I was at Cornerstone and we were going to build that big sanctuary. I thought, I'm concerned that I will make even more decisions based upon finances. And where if I have a mortgage I've got to pay, then I'm going to be, I just know myself. I'll start thinking, okay, I need a certain amount of people or a certain type of person to be at my church, and it's not blatant. I just know it'll be in the back of my mind influencing me. And can I do it without showing favoritism? If a billionaire walks in, can I just treat him like the guy that, 90%, yes, but that 10% or 5%, I just didn't want any of that there. And I saw in the past where finances drove some decisions of, oh man, I got to pay the staff, got to take care of this and this and this. And by the grace of God, we were always doing well financially, but you get a couple bad offerings and it does mess with your mind. Summer months always mess with your mind. And I just didn't want any of that. So I thought, if we can do it for free, why wouldn't we? And one last thought on that. I thought to myself, we all know that you can run a church of 10, 15 people without a salary. But then I thought, gosh, once it jumps to 100, okay, now you actually do need a place. You do need to pay someone. You do need to, maybe get an assistant or something like that. There's just, so I thought, wow, maybe I just don't let it get to that point. Why not have 5 free churches? It would multiply the leadership, and rather than one that actually costs money. So I don't want to make it sound like these are all biblical reasons. Some of it was just logic and practicality and just learning from other cultures.
Would you say, Francis, that there are situations and contexts that demand, like a larger kind of church setting where it's, you would say, yeah, normally I wouldn't do it like this, but like in this case, I think it makes sense to, have, 5,000 or 10,000 people under one roof and kind of take on all those layers of infrastructure.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly isn't like this absolute biblical thing, like I said. And I have spoken to people who are in countries where, uh, unless they go down that route, they won't be recognized by the government. Like I had a friend in India who said, "Gosh, I didn't really want to do this, but I had to make it more formal. Otherwise, what was happening before was we had zero protection from the radical Hindus or some of the Muslims that would have literally burned down our gatherings and chase our people out, and the police are like, we don't." So he goes, I had to make a decision. Like, I don't want to be afraid to die, but this wasn't an absolute biblical thing to be a little bit more formal for the sake of coming under the government's regulations. They weren't keeping us from doing anything biblical, but they said if you went down this route, then we could recognize you as a real entity that it's our duty to protect. And again, he says, our people weren't afraid to die. It's just kind of for the spread of the gospel. Do we want to just keep going through this, or is there a wiser way to do it? And they didn't see a biblical reason not to. So I think there will be times like that where that makes sense. And I hear, people say in their context, it just made more sense, and they really had a heart to do whatever was most biblical. And that's the stuff we can't get caught up arguing over because we don't know.